that very well-placed source, Meghan Markle, this hit her far harder than, in fact, the Spotify deal, you know, the one where they were accused of being grifters and, more importantly, useless and not audio-friendly stars. As ever, what are we talking about? Hi, good morning. Nice to see you. How are you today? And as ever, thank you so much for joining me. By the way, let's just say a belated happy birthday to a man that has given so much pleasure to so many people around the world. If I were to sort of say the two names, Apache and FBI, yes, you all know what I'm talking about, don't you? The brilliant Bruce Welch from The Shadows. The Shadows were a mega group, as well as being Sir Cliff Richard's backing group way back in the late 50s and early 60s, co-starring with him in movies like The Young Ones and Summer Holiday. I like their sound, and when you think about it, you have to take yourself back to the 60s, don't you, and realize just what a sound that must have been like coming through your transistor radio as a teenager back home in your beehive. Do you know what I'm saying, girls? And the thing is, it was just kind of like that new sound, wasn't it? And even when you listen today, I've been lucky enough to meet Hank Marvin, the lead guitarist of The Shadows. What a guy, what a talent, and just a lot of fun. When you look at those people, you think they've really lived lives. Belated happy birthday, Bruce Welch. Back as ever to your breaking royal story of the day. We'll have a wave. I'm sorry, I know I'm slacking, but I'm not used to being inside. I feel a bit strange, really. Obviously, we do a lot of broadcasts out the studios, but doing this is a bit odd. I know, you see, normally I'm somebody talking in my ear, another, but you know what it's like, television, live. Oh, let's not go there. Now, what's interesting here, as one can imagine, Meghan Markle apparently has been mortified, left mortified, in fact, very upset, very down, and, according to that very well-placed source, a little bit despondent, to say the least. One would have suspected that she might have felt the same way about this with the Netflix deal, say, for Pearl, when that didn't work, or the complete abandonment of the 40 times 40 a couple of years back now, where she had, Melissa, her friend, doing the spoof thing and mocking the British, that sort of stuff. No, even the curtsy, no, that didn't bother her. What bothered her was this. That's right, this particular scene. Apparently the thing with Family Guy, the 24-second skit that we told you about, well, came out of nowhere. Nobody tipped them off. And apparently, according to that source, Meghan was very, very teary, very upset, couldn't believe that that's the way that people perceived her. Now, one has to ask the question, what? You didn't get it, that, you could be seen like that? Apparently not. She didn't understand it, and more importantly, was mortified by this. Now, as we told you a couple of days ago, Meghan and Harry were reached out to see if they wanted to lend their voices. And as I said to you before, this might have worked incredibly well for them, because they could have shown a sense of humor that they don't necessarily have, and, petered out all the negatives. But clearly, what they didn't realize, according to that source, particularly Meghan, was that people just saw her as somebody getting paid for doing nothing. Well, it was their own fault. It came up on their accounts, didn't it? They do an hour a week for their charitable foundation. So one might suggest that what you've got to do is look at how you're perceived in the public eye, and more importantly, stop spinning stories about catastrophic car chases in New York, and then maybe shows like Family Guy won't have anything to mock you for. Either way, obviously, you don't want people to be upset, but one wonders if this is a nice spin story that's going to be coming out in the next couple of days, but you're hearing it here first across the newspapers, a kind of like, oh dear, very upsetting, all that sort of stuff. People make satirical comedy when you put it to them on a plate. And sadly, Meghan, you put this on a plate for Family Guy. Either way, it's not going to stop. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.